So let's get making a hummingbird feeder. I'm going to angle my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. You can see that I have everything I need here. I've got a water bottle that's empty, and I'm keeping the lid. I need the lid, okay? I have glue. I have several strips of ribbon, which I'm going to line the hummingbird feeder with because hummingbirds are attracted to bright colors like red and magenta and orange. I have a Swiss Army knife with the hole maker right here, but you could also use something that punches holes in anything, or a sharp knife, just something small, an X-Acto knife to help me cut things, okay? Scissors, all right? Twine to hang it with, and then a Tupperware container for the bottom, because this is how it's going to go. This is going to go on top right here. It's going to be like that, okay? So I'm going to try to show you how to do this. Let me back up my camera a little bit. Okay, so let's start now. Here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to move everything aside. We're going to take the hole puncher, and I'm going to cut 4 holes in around the top of the container. And this is going to be where the hummingbirds can actually go in and drink the nectar that we're going to create together, which is going to be 1 part sugar and 4 parts water. I've already got it ready, and I'm going to show you how to mix it. It's real easy. You don't have to boil the water. So that's the good news. So I've got my holes, okay? And then I'm going to punch holes in the lid also of the water bottle so that the water can get into the tub. Okay. Then I'm going to make a circle around the lid in the middle of the lid of the Tupperware. Okay? And I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut a hole in there so that I can make the lid fit through there. Okay, so then I take my X-Acto knife, I cross once, I cross twice, I make a little hole in the way where my lid goes. This is not the best X-Acto knife. You're definitely going to want to have your parents help you if you're going to use things like an X-Acto knife, because they're very sharp and we wouldn't want anyone to get cut or hurt. So please ask mom and dad to supervise this activity that uses lots of cutting tools. All right, so I have my lid in the middle like that. So basically you're going to be screwing this on like that, and then you're going to put it on top of this. So it's going to look like that when you're done. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move all these crazy sharp tools because they're kind of scaring me. And I'm going to take these pieces of ribbon that I've already cut, and I'm going to paste them around. I'm going to glue them around this all the way up here. So I've finished gluing all of my ribbon around my bottle. So now it looks really pretty, like something a hummingbird might be attracted to, with lots of color. Now you could do this with colored tape. You could even do this with strips of paper. Just make sure that you put some red in there, some green, some purple, magenta, lots of colors that a hummingbird might enjoy. And then the next step is going to be to take a smaller piece of fabric, or whatever you have, twine would be fine, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue it on the side of my bird feeder, the thing that's going to hold all of the nectar for the beautiful hummingbirds to come and eat. So I'm going to glue it on the side here, okay? I'm going to leave a space, and I'm going to put a little hook to hang in the tree. So see, I've used this twine. I just tied a knot in it, and I'm putting it on the side of the bird feeder, okay, so that I can hang up the bird feeder when I get it outside. so the birds can eat, right? If you have like an actual hook, that's great. I didn't have anything like that, so I just made do with what I had. I had some twine, and I thought, well, that will work just as good as anything. And I made sure that I have that the thing that's going to hold my bird feeder up comes all the way down to the tip of the bottle here, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to wrap it so that I make sure it doesn't come apart. So see now, once the glue dries, you can see it will hang like this. This is very hard to do. Okay, like that, see? That's the idea, okay? And so I'm gonna let that dry. And meanwhile, I'm gonna grab another piece of twine and I'm gonna wrap it tightly. Okay, so there we go. Tie it tightly. There we go. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid and see where I poked 4 holes on the lid right here, okay, for the hummingbirds to eat from. I'm going to take a little tiny piece of red felt that I actually had in my art supplies from years and years of having children, right? Art supplies build up. That's great. I'm going to punch holes in it, and I'm going to glue each one of them over the hole, just like so. So you can see what I've done here is I have 4 holes, and they're very tiny, but you can see. And the idea is that the hummingbird will come, he will see the red, and he or she will like the red, and they will stick their long beak in one of these holes to get the nectar. Okay, so first we are going to mix the hummingbird juice, okay? So I've got 4 cups of water, 1 cup of sugar, and mix it. Make sure I get all of the sugar dissolved in the water, because the sugar is the nectar and what really attracts the hummingbird. And then once I've got my nectar good and mixed, I'm going to pour as much as I can into my bottle. This bottle, I think, is about 16 ounces, so it will only be half of this mixture, so I can put this in the refrigerator and use it later when the hummingbirds are done with all their other nectar drinking. And I'm going to put my lid on that has the 2 holes, and the holes are small, so it's not going to flood. All right, so I fastened my lid firmly around my bottom of my feeder. I'm going to put it over the top securely, okay? Then I'm going to turn it over, and the nectar is going to drain into my feeder. You can see right here, it's kind of cute little thing. All right, and there you go. It's a hummingbird feeder. I'm going to hold it up. There we go. Okay, so students, the way to bring big birds to your yard, birds that are going to actually eat seeds, and like I said in my seesaw project instructions, poop them out or accidentally drop them on the ground so that they'll sprout new flowers and new plants, is to try to attract them into your yard. You need some bird feeders, okay? So I'm going to show you how to make some really easy bird feeders, all right, from TB Rolls. You need TB Rolls, you need Crisco or peanut butter, or both. I'm going to try both just because I wanted to kind of see which one the birds will like the best. And you need some bird seed. Turns out they have it at Ralph's. It's parakeet seed, but I don't think the birds are going to discriminate in free food world, right? Because I don't. Okay. And you need some twine of some sort. Okay, let me show you what to do. So, first, I'm going to take the twine, like so, and I'm going to put it through the toilet paper roll, all right? And I'm going to tie it. It's just that easy. I'm going to tie it in a knot. You can tie it in a bow. Just make sure it's secure so that it will hold a bird when they land on it to eat, okay? So there we go. There's one, all right? Here's the other. I'm going to tie it. Probably want to leave some room for the bird to land on this little toilet paper roll. So I'm not tying it down, right? Because this is how it's going to hang on the tree, like that, or the bush, or whatever you have. Ooh, I'm trying so hard to get it in the camera. There we go. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take toilet paper roll number 1. I'm going to smother it in peanut butter. And it smells good. I love peanut butter. I'm the happiest peanut butter eater ever. Love peanut butter ice cream. It's my favorite. I love peanut butter cookies. I'm sure I would love peanut butter pie, although I can't remember when I've had it. I'll probably have. I'm really old. Had a lot of things to eat. And then I also love peanut butter cake. And I like just straight peanut butter too. I'm going to slather it in peanut butter. And then I'm going to roll it in my birdseed. Okay, so I'm going to put a lot of birdseed on there. There we go, there we go. All right, this one's done. As you can see, my nice little bird feeder. Okay, then it's kind of like what we do with our dog. We smother a bone in peanut butter. That guy loves it. Then I'm going to try Crisco, which is just baking lard, really. It's oil condensed down to lard. I'm going to put it all over my second toilet paper roll. I'm sure everybody's got some toilet paper rolls sitting around, right? Because we've been in COVID-19 for a long time. We've been using toilet paper at home. And I'm sure we've got some toilet paper rolls. Maybe if you don't have twine, you could just use string from the kitchen. You could really use anything just as long as it can hold it up. That's the whole point. And you can smother it. There we go. And then, same thing. Roll it in the birdseed. There we go. Now, I'll tell you what, this is my first experience with this project, and I'll tell you right now that the Crisco does not quite hook up the birdseed like peanut butter did. It really. So, here's what I've got. Now, 1 bird feeder, 2 bird feeders. I'm going to go outside and see which one they like. Here's an urban garden update. First, the tree by the auditorium has these great apples I wanted you to see. I'm sure you know that they grow every year, but they're beautiful. So, let's head to the garden. A lot of things are happening there that you're going to see. There's big changes, and it's really flourishing. Welcome back. Now you can see over by the compost area, there's a lot of growth, not just in the bed there, but also on the ground. Look at this squash. I had to put a trellis up for it to grow on. There's so much squash. These beds have really flourished, like I was saying before. There's so much produce there. I've been able to harvest a lot of food, radishes, tomatoes, lots of lettuce, parsley, herbs, and share them with other people from Larchmont Charter School who needed herbs and things to make dinner. Hugo's used some of it in the food that he's making with the to-go meals. Lavender's beautiful. You can see the trees are growing really well. There's even some apples on our tree there, and the lemongrass as well. It's just become really, really beautiful here, and I wish you guys could see it in person, but I'll try to explain it even more. Let's see some other things in the garden. This bed has tomatoes and peppers growing in it, as well as that big group of kale. See here, these little cherries and these little peppers. I think they may be serrano peppers, but I'm not sure. This fig tree actually has about 2 or 3 figs on it, which are delicious with some prosciutto. Can't wait for that. This bed needs to be planted, so I'm going to put some corn in it and try for some things for fall. And here's Chewy's habitat. It's growing really well. And here's some artichokes. There's 4 of them. There were 5 the other day. We took one off. The flower garden is beautiful right now. You can see the sweet peas and these big sunflowers, which I'm going to put stakes on so they don't fall over. And these pretty little blue flowers are so lovely. I made a little bouquet. This bed has tons and tons and tons of tomatoes in it. And it also has some watermelon radishes. Although we've harvested most of them, there's been plenty. Like I said, we've been sharing with other LCS families and folks that have been at school working.
Again, more tomatoes. We're going to have a lot of tomatoes. See, they're so beautiful. They're starting to come in, the cherries and the big ones. There's some really big, big tomatoes coming, as you can see. And this is the Meyer lemon tree. It's got a bunch of lemons on it. Delicious. Can't wait to eat those. This squash just took over. I don't even know who planted the squash, but it's really taking over. You can see the blossoms. The peas are dying out. The lettuce is dying out. But that squash is taking over. I assume there's going to be a lot of them. And here's the squash from the compost area. It's the biggest one we have. The worms still thriving. You can see a few of them in here. And the lettuces are about ready to get harvested. I'm going to think of something else to put in there. I can't wait to see what sprouts up next.